the wise man? Where is the scholar? Where is the philosopher of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not know him, God was pleased, insert delighted, insert even mildly amused, that through the foolishness of what was preached to save those who believe. Jumping ahead, in verse 27, but God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. He chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things and the things that are not to nullify the things that are, so that no one may boast before him. Here is one of the clearest expressions inspired by the Holy Spirit through the pen of Paul to explain the character of God expressed in the way he chooses to do things before he finally steps in and puts a stop to human foolishness and sets up things the way they ought to be. And so we find ourselves in this time of willingly bowing our knee before a king who's got an unexpected way of dealing with things and seeing things. I mean, only Jesus said, I know that you hate your enemies. Everybody expects you to hate your enemies. I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. You want to be great in my kingdom? You must be the servant of all. Those who are great now will be humiliated later. Those who are humble now, in due season will be lifted up. They will be honored. I would dare say that there is a message in this for all of us, and hopefully you'll get to that conclusion with me. But before we go there, I want to tell you a story from the Old Testament. This character of God in delighting in using the little things, the unexpected things, comes throughout the Bible. And once you start seeing it and start enjoying it with me, you begin kind of feeling a little bit what C.S. Lewis talked about in terms of his love and enjoyment of fairy tales. He said that the reason he loved fairy tales so much was that when your attitude changes, when you enjoy the unexpected, there comes a point when behind every leaf, there could be a little fairy. For those who have eyes to see, the most dull setting might hide something wonderful, beautiful, unexpected, and amazing. Those stories bring that sense of wonder to us, and we lose that sense of wonder at our own peril. Because if God truly rules with an ironic scepter, if he truly delights to turn our world upside down and inside out, those who know our God can look with expectation. We should always be expecting the unexpected. Now, we know that phrase. Oh, expect the unexpected. We've heard it before from guys who want to get revenge. And they say it this way: when you least expect it, expect it. I always thought that was one of the sillier things I've ever heard. When you least expect it, whatever. Mostly I'm getting that you're frustrated and upset and wish you could get revenge, but don't have any clue how to do it right now. But we also hear it in popular notions expressed as Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And at the worst possible time. See, both of those express a negative expectation of the things that we don't know about that could be lurking around the corner. If you knew that in the afternoon you were going to flip a Jeep, in the morning you might be going, oh, nuts. I've been expecting this for weeks. Oh well, guess it's time to go to town. You know, we can easily succumb to this dread of the things we don't know about. she doesn't get upset because I didn't give her permission beforehand. But I'm amused. We're handing out all the change to put in the children's offering thing. She brought a baggie of change. We were prepared. She more than I. And but afterwards, she reaches in her purse and pulls out a little hand sanitizer. You just never know what germs might be on that money. That's prudent. But it's also typical of the way we tend to expect the unexpected in negative ways, right? You feel that. Hopefully, you have enough of a sense of humor that you've seen it in yourself and been able to go, what are you thinking? It's not, God's in control. And the thing is, when God is in control, even the bad things that happen, you can turn the corner and suddenly God was at work in ways that you just weren't expecting. Under any leaf, around any corner, behind any event, the hand of God can be revealed, preparing the way for something wonderful, something unexpected. Today could be the day that you win the lottery. I mean, I think God's a little deeper than going, oh, well, money comes and goes. Whatever. I think that He wants to bless us and often blesses us unexpectedly. And if we woke up each day saying, today could be the day that I hear that my daughter has accepted Christ. Today could be the day that nagging backache that I've struggled with disappears. Today could be the day that the job situation that we've been dreading for a month has already been handled by God. He's got it under control. And He delights to turn our world upside down in unexpected, amazing, beautiful, and majestic ways. Why? So that no one can boast. You see, He wants to turn our world upside down, not for our destruction, but for our blessing. He wants us to go, God, you're so funny. He wants us to be delighted with the things that He's been planning for so long. And you look back and you say, oh, how long has He been working on this? And I just didn't know it. So back to the Old Testament. You're expecting me to tell you the story of David and Goliath because it is, after all, the classic story of the little guy that did great things. Now, that's way too expensive. You're expecting many of the other stories, such as Moses, the guy kicked out of Egypt, going back to take the children of Israel out of Egypt. Way too ridiculous. I'm going to go to the book of Judges. God did something amazing in Judges chapters 4 and 5. And I'm just going to tell you the story. I give you the reference, not so that you can read along, because you actually have to read both chapters 4 and 5 and bring them back together to pull the details of the story out. But there are unexpected things taking place all over this story, and I realize that time gets quickly away from me, and so I'm going to move quickly through the story of Jael. Jael was a young woman. We don't know how young. She was in a blended family. Not blended from divorce, but blended because she was Jewish. Her name meant Yahweh is God. Yael. And so we believe that she came from a Jewish background, though it's not really said. It's just that the way her name is phrased, no Canaanite, no Kenite would have named their child Jael. But she's married to a Kenite. Oh, stinking Kenites. They weren't really so bad, but they had wandered a little bit. They had started as a family that was related to Moses. But through the generations, they had become more in league with the Canaanites. And especially at this time in our story, they were in league with and known to be supporters of Jabin. Jabin was the king of the Canaanites, and at this time the children of Israel had largely forgotten their covenant